has managed to trap its own people twice, stranded at home in endless, dehumanizing transport queues, and stranded behind a new wall of visa restrictions. Its diplomacy was too clumsy, too reactive, and too self-satisfied to prevent. The minority, therefore, is calling for immediate, concrete action in the transport sector, for an emergency program to restore the state bus fleet and saturate the worst-hit corridors with reliable services so that no Ghanaian is left stranded for hours simply trying to get to work or back home. On the diplomatic front, the minority has demanded the dismissal of the foreign minister and ambassador to the United States and urged the president to deploy a high-level special envoy to Washington and constitute a crisis task force to secure Ghana's prompt removal from the U.S. immigrant visa-free list and protect the billions in remittance on which millions of Ghanaian households depend. Ladies and gentlemen, public trust is further undermined by a visible pattern of selective justice. Former MPP officials have been pursued with vigor, while figures associated with the NDC facing similar questions have not attracted the same urgency. At the same time, serious concerns around financial transparency at the highest level of our monetary system have gone largely unaddressed. When the law is enforced according to political power, color, rather than evidence, we are no longer dealing with the rule of law. We are watching a performance of the rule of law, a scripted play in which the audience knows the ending before the curtain rises, but the show continues to preserve appearances. The MPP minority has resisted rushed and opaque lawmaking, including attempts to force through certain held financing measures without required parliamentary quorum. We have repeatedly insisted on transparency. These actions are not partisan games. They are necessary steps to narrow the dangerous gap between what our Constitution says and how power is actually exercised. The new patriotic party, the mighty minority, has learned its lessons from defeat. We concede that we couldn't have been perfect in government. We know that there were some mistakes that were made. We take collective responsibility. Our responsibility now is deeper, and we assure Ghanaians that we in Parliament will continue to lead the charge, even as we finish our flag bearership race on 31st of January 2026. Our main task thereafter would be to win back the trust and mandate of the Ghanaian people by rallying behind our elected new leader, work hand in hand with him to go through his vision and ensure that we put forward a responsible opposition and provide alternatives. We've done it before. When the NPP was in opposition in the 90s and we finally had power in the 2000s, the people of Ghana know what the Kufuor administration did. We introduced the health insurance policy, a policy that the NDC never dreamed of, a policy that the NDC doubted, a policy that the NDC in Parliament boycotted its passage. Yet today, that is what has saved millions of Ghanaians. Again, when we were in opposition between 2009 and 2016, and we promised free SHS, the NDC told us we could not implement. The people of Ghana are aware that when the grace of God gave us opportunity to govern, we saw the implementation of the free SHS. However imperfect it was, The policy was implemented. Many Ghanaian youth who ordinarily could not have had an opportunity to have secondary education had the opportunity of being educated. What is left after this government had taken office is to take it to a higher level, use the opportunity created to build human resource capacity to create jobs. They've shut down the 1D, 1F policy. In its place, no alternative. So Ghanaian businesses are left in a state of uncertainty. There is no incentive for the private sector. So we ask, what is the trade minister doing? What is the trade minister doing? We can in the least describe her as a redundant minister with no policy to promote economic growth. Now let us turn to the lithium. We want to deal with the lithium agreement. When the NDC was in opposition, they questioned the lithium agreement that was before Parliament. But upon assuming office, the agreement was brought, reintroduced, in a very worse state. When the minority exerted pressure on the minister and government, they came through the back door to now withdraw the paper, the agreement, claiming that they are now going through further consultation. The question is, at the time Honorable Ama Kofi-Boa was defending this new agreement on the House floor, didn't he know that he needed to do further consultation? At the time that he challenged the sincerity of the minority, up until civil society joined the call, was he being fair to the people of Ghana? Was he being transparent? We reiterate again the call on the Minister of Land and Natural Resources to resign because he failed the people of Ghana. The minority interrogated the reduction in royalties from 10 to 5%. We carried the questions further regarding the lapses in the transparency of the whole agreement. He defended it, and now he came back to withdraw it. That alone amounts to a serious mischief. That alone is a policy failure that the minister cannot get away with. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now turn attention to a disturbing matter on the House floor, which we promise the people of Ghana that when Parliament commences, reconvenes on the 3rd of February, we are no more going to allow the majority to have its way. The majority has turned Parliament into a Parliament of fast track and no scrutiny. A rubber stamp Parliament where everything comes under certificate of urgency. They should be ready to beat us in the chamber. We will resist with all the energy in us. No more certificate of urgency. They had their way in the passage of the Gold Board law, the Energy Sector Recovery Levy, the Dumso Levy. They also introduced its certificate of urgency, and many more other laws that they pass it through certificate of urgency without any scrutiny. We hereby sound a caution to the NDC majority. If they are not ready to read, we are ready to read. We all became aware that their 189 only exists in numbers. When it comes to substance, they can't match the length of the trousers of the minority. They only talk numbers. But we all know that even in the passage of laws, when it comes to quality debates, we do proper research and we argue on facts supported with data. What they come into the chamber to do is their propaganda. But come 2026, this 2026, they will never have their way. We will hold their feet to the fire and ensure that each minister account for his stewardship. We know that 2026 budget is a chop-chop budget. We know that 2026 budget is a chop-chop budget. We are going to open our eye and scrutinize every contract, every document that goes to PPA. The minority will follow it and bring motions. And we hereby also plead with Mr. Speaker that he is doing Ghana's work and is doing the work for the growth of democracy. We are aware Mr. Speaker is an NDC leading member. But where he sits, he is to protect both of us. We have been frustrated by numerous dismissal of our motions. Questions are delayed. Questions are declined. Issues that must be allowed to be debated on the House floor, we see subtle culture of silence being introduced, and procedural roadblocks are used to deny us opportunity. But we want to pray, Mr. Speaker, most humbly, that he should prioritize substance over form. That is the rule of equity. He should prioritize prudence over procedure and allow debate to flow. We will not sit idly by and allow the majority to use their numbers to deny us our duty in ensuring that there is proper oversight. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by promising that we will not renege on our fundamental duties to the Constitution. We will fight for the people of Ghana. And in doing so, we will not be obstructive. We will scrutinize, hold government to account, ensure that just as we did in 2025, where we brought up issues to the limelight, we're going to repeat same. And this time around, we are going to do so even as we are done with all our internal elections, that we now have a leader, and we are going to do so with a firm determination and assurance that come 2028, the NPP deserves to come back into office. This presser may not be done and done well without at least talking about this third-term agenda. We are aware that Mr. President himself says he's not interested in third-term agenda. But we take this opportunity to also mention to Mr. President that, Mr. President, we are aware that many of your party members want to put the agenda. Please tell them one more time. Maybe when you said so in Singapore, they didn't hear you. Mr. President, you haven't spoken about your non-interest in third term in Ghana. Please, tell your people that you are not interested at all. They shouldn't lead you into temptation. And by the way, it is not possible. Also, we have heard that certain people have filed certain processes at the court. We also have this to tell my Lord Bafuboni. We know that this job was handed to you on a silver platter. We know that you have your masters to please. But my Lord Bafuboni, in the end, when history is being written, it will be your name. And to our judges at the Supreme Court, Ghanaians are watching how you determine the matters that are coming before you. Will question your own integrity. When you came for vetting, you made certain commitment to the people of Ghana. Ghanaians heard you. So again, the mighty minority is watching you. We will not be silenced by threat of contempt. If by criticizing the judiciary, they will march us into Nsawam, we are ready to become prisoners of conscience. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold and make a great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building a motherland. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building a motherland. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please resume yourself.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say thank you enough for the wonderful submission by the leader of the mighty minority, the leader of the 87th Infantry Battalion, who will now open up the conversation to our friends from the media. If there is any question, we are ready to take. My colleague, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaif, will be doing the justice. If you have any concern, you raise up your hand. Here he is going to play the role of a speaker. If you catch his eye, if you catch the eye of the Member of Parliament for Wega, then we'll be able to do justice to that. So now the floor is open for our friends from the media. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Kweku Sechedanso from GhanaIntis.com. I just want to find out from the minority if there are plans after your internal context to bring colleagues together, because we see what is going on, since you want to stand firm and hold government accountable. Thank you.
Next person.
Please,
Yeah, bro.
you announce your media.
Leader, thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Josam Ghana Page, and host of the constituency. Leader, you mentioned that Ghanaians agree with the quality of debate advanced on the floor of Parliament by the minority. Emphatically, you called for the dismissal of the Foreign Affairs Minister. Are there other ministers you want to see who, or is it just a dislike? Is it just a dislike for the Foreign Affairs Minister? And is it not a situation where the job at hand is bigger than the labourers on the floor, regards to the number of ministers John Ramani Mahama has appointed and expected? You also mentioned that the majority has 189. Have you already considered Ayawaso East to the majority?
Is any other place? Okay.
No, three. No, that's second. There's a third one.
Okay, graphic. No, Joy, then I come to graphic.
My name is James Adeji with Joy News. On the transport crisis in Accra and the other cities, the minority leader talks about the state of the state transport system and how government is not adding up to the numbers. In our recent interview with the Metro Mass Transit Force, he talks about the fact that some of these buses that have been disposed were done under the previous government. Minority leader, I want to ask if you can give us some details about some of these decisions to dispose of some of these buses. I also know that you initiated an electric bus project before you left government to purchase about 100 buses. 10 have been brought. The status of that is it supposed to be continued by the recent government, and if you have any updates on adding up to the numbers? Plus, if there is any solution you can prefer to government on this, thank you.
The minority leader will respond to these three questions before we pick the next batch.
So let me deal with the first issue of post 31st January in Parliament. As you may be well aware, we've had a very civil engagement from Parliament. We, the 87, those colleagues who have been engaged in this discourse have done so with all civility. I want to assure you that these are internal matters. As for politics, things get heated. Soon after, we all rally behind the leader and the MPP flag to push the party agenda and to let Ghanaians know what we have for them. But you see, the NDC is busy talking about us. What they've also forgotten is that they also have a leadership contest awaiting them. And do also obi fieshe. Omo de npo de kankan kra. Sesi a obe hu no eyi ase edun katia ose oko thank you to. Meanwhile no o campaign. They are hu ni say aisa aban e won ni own preferred candidate. Jubilee House for am so mo candidate. O obedi eyi flag bearer amomo na party no so one candidate nti enche bi ebedu omo so but the person can say MPP there nyame ya adomo after 31st yan ye wo parliament ya wia taso se kwen bia so no ye de ba ko ye enka bom e betai ne obewini n'echi na ye nyina ya boa e ma party na akoneka nti no NDC for mu dwe omo no mu di omo fi asem Yanshwe Krana, Ebia by mid this year, Omampei Mahama Eba by Lim Dak president. Because Obia pay to me, Usho Mumua, vice president, also Onusubedi president. And then I'm saying, Yeti say, Onu, Alpha Haruna, Idrusa and running mate. Yeti Yani say, chief of staff, Julius Debra, Onoso Namnekwai, Onoso be president Edi, Onoso, or say, ne running mate any fifi kwete yeti a majority leader ono so onam ne baby onini ablakwa omoso yo mu permutation yenua finance minister ono so omose obedi president ono so prepare no running mate nti ade no atasa obebia agric minister Yenua Erikopoku, ono agric minister. One kasa wo ministry okra no. Sika ezeso omode ma na wode ye kwadwuma kro mo farmer. Wo so be di president. Ono openi Erikopoku ehu the difference between opposition and government. Our opposition ani kati brofo akese. And obedi minister. Sika ode be ye adwuma kra mpo no. Aya asema ma no. Ono so obedi president NDC for there no ebe huhu nti omunti omufi asem na omunja ye de man back to quality of debate. Yes, I mean ladies and gentlemen of the press, I don't think that there is any debate on this matter. Check the records. We have become formidable opposition because each one of us, in fact, if you look at the first timers on our side, it's so reassuring that MPP indeed has a future. I told somebody that in future, it may be very difficult to make some selections because all of them are competent. All of them are determined. All of them have what it takes to deliver. So as for that one, it comes without question. Now, on the issue of the foreign minister, my colleague, we in the minority, we don't attack personalities. Follow the consistency in my public discourse. and that of my colleagues, we don't do personality attack. No. From the vetting to the House floor to all engagement, we raise issues. How can our foreign minister have an engagement with some ambassadors, write on social media, and the next day we hear of an embargo? How can you claim that Israel deported some Ghanaians, and without engaging, you also go ahead to say retaliation? You know, when we were kids, right, there were times that when somebody is provoking you, then you say that, wouldn't say when you penny or hunty, and yes, sir. So you are careful. If our foreign minister was that measured, he would have known that attacking Israel had consequences. I'll leave it here. A word to a wise is enough. So we don't have anything personal against anybody. In serious democracies, when a policy fails, the minister resigns. How can the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources come to Parliament and to defend an agreement, only to do U-turn to withdraw it for further consultation? Any serious democracy, you have to resign. So that call on him to resign is not born out of our dislike for him. Our call on Honorable Ablako to resign is not born out of any dislike or any ill will. There's a clear foreign policy failure. He's not walked the path of his predecessors, who took foreign policy to higher levels. Even recently in ECOWAS, Ghana has lost out on a lot of vacancies that arose at ECOWAS, all because we thought we were eyeing an AU chair for His Excellency the President next year. What of if the countries we are relying on resolve? Ghana is a regular contributor. In fact, we don't fail in our contributions to ECOWAS. Go for the records. We've lost out in employment in ECOWAS. Institutional heads, 0. Main employment, technical staff, the ECOWAS civil servant. Ghana contributes so much, but we are losing out. So what is the foreign minister doing? On the Metro Mass issue, we are going to call on the Minister of Transport when Parliament resumes to answer questions regarding why they sat down for a whole year without putting in place measures to beef up the fleet levels. It again exposes the minister's lack of clear vision for the transport sector. But would bid our time, put together a paper by the appropriate committee of the Caucus, and hold the minister's feet to the fire when Parliament resumes. So bear with us. We want to do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we'll take the next set of questions. Okay.
Our colleague, the sector head, is here, and he would want to expatiate a bit on this. So please bear with him.
The ranking member on transport. After that, you ask your question.
Before he comes, this is the chair of the
Is your question related to the same, and you won't ask any further questions?
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, in the leader's presentation, I heard him accuse this government of failing to institute a properly functional state transport. But per recent report we read, during your administration...
Did he accuse them, or that's the reality?
He blamed this government.
Yes, but is that a reality or is an accusation?
So
it's a reality.
The question that he cannot answer. But we all know that the problems that we are facing today in terms of Ghanaians having easy access to public transportation has existed over the years during your 8-year administration. I in Accra take public transport, and I always go through tough time as sector getting access to public transport, and the unbearable first transport operators are charged. But you know that during our administration, there is a report that about 330 to 400 Metro Mass buses that were auctioned, sold as cheap, as low as 2,500 some of your colleagues. Would you want to deny this report? Because if you fail to deny it, then we can also attribute the current challenge to some of your administration.
Graphic, please, can you reframe your question? Why is one an accusation and one a report? You are saying that there is a report that was an auction on Metro, and then you said the other one is an accusation. So is that one too not an accusation? That's your last sentence.
No, two issues here. The accusation is that one, the minority leader is blaming this government of failing to institute a functional state transport. As a government, which just as a party which just exited power in 2024, we all saw that the very issue that you're accusing this government of were prevailing under your administration.
Okay, it's okay. Let him respond.
I think thank you very much. I think your question is clear. So let me respond to the earlier one with regard to the auctioning of Metro Mass buses. A lot of people don't know what goes into the processes before any bus is auctioned. Let me take my time to educate. Yes. No, in auctioning of the buses that you are talking about, before any bus is being auctioned, it has to be certified by the Board of Survey. It is not true that buses were sold at a peanut. No movable buses were sold to any cronies. It is a palpable lies which being thrown out because of the recent event that is happening under this government. They are trying to just equalize, make an equalization. So I just want to let you know that it is palpable lies. If they want any full inquiry into the matter, like the leader said, once we resume, the minority is going to call for that. And we'll have a public inquiry for Ghanaians to know the truth behind. Let us face the fact. There are challenges. Ghanaians are suffering to have, commercial transportation to their works and to travel around, and that is the most difficult thing, the problem that we have at hand. And I expect every Ghanaian to be concerned about it, to find a solution to it. We on the minority side will continue to assist the government with whatever ideas that we need to. So that is what I want to say. On the electric buses, yes, the previous government ordered 100 buses. The idea was that we want to bring 10 to try it, because that was the first time that we were adding.
Chicken, cow, and he's back again, children. The children president is back, and I'm back for good. To God be the glory. Guess what? Now on Original TV and Metro TV, come for Westbrook. Something amazing is coming for you, children. You've been idle for nothing. Now you have something to do. The children president is back with Time with the Children President on Metro TV and Original TV. Please